I'm at Barn Owl Nursery with Chris, and Chris, you know, I think people love lavender in their garden. We love to have it, but sometimes we're afraid of it.
Right.
So you're going to help us take maybe the fear out of one aspect of it, and that's pruning.
Yes, it's essential.
It is essential because you want to keep these plants in your garden for years, because you said you have plants over 15 years in the garden. So what should we do? Can you show us?
Yes, well, I use a sickle, but you could certainly use scissors. And this is my first variety to harvest for culinary purposes. It's English lavender, or Lavandula angustifolia French fields. And I'm going to take as long a stem as possible and then go ahead and leave a tiny bit of green on the woody stem or base below and take green on the stem, so that you're actually getting the long stem and some of the foliage when you harvest. And I am really pruning at this time.
And really, that's not going to hurt the plant, because I see some wood there. I don't see all green.
Right. And this will grow. As you can see, there's some new growth in here.
Look at that.
And once I finish harvesting, then I could water it again if I wanted to try to get a second crop of flowers later in the season.
Oh, nice.
Or add perhaps a little lime or fertilizer. But in general, you need to continue to prune hard at least once a year, and you can do that several times, but if you only have time to do it once, I would say when you're harvesting would be the best.
And then just to talk a little bit more about this variety, so it gets maybe about 2 foot tall.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice full sun,
Yes.
really good garden variety.
And it's important to plant English lavenders on 3-foot centers so they can get air circulation in between. And as you see, when they're heavy with flowers, they tend to crowd together. And so if it rains, it's important to get those long stems off, get the air inside to dry it out in between rain.
And so enjoy it fresh, dried, or even in some dishes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you have some other lovely varieties over here, so let's go over there.
Okay.
These are some beautiful varieties, so tell us about them.
The first one is Pacific Blue. It's a Lavandula angustifolia, or English lavender, that gets 20 to 24 inches. And it has a nice deep color and is also a good culinary lavender.
That is nice. And then this is a really nice one. I've never heard of this one, Rebecca Kay.
Yes, Rebecca Kay is also about the same size, 20 to 24 inches, with a nice dark flower. And it dries very well on the stem, as well as has culinary uses. The best thing about it is it blooms twice.
That is nice. You don't hear about that too much with English lavender.
No.
And then this one, the bees are having a good time.
Yes, and this is a good example of when to harvest for culinary purposes. And just a few of the little flowers have opened from the buds, and the bees are busy working at each one of the stems. And I will again cut as long a stem as possible into the foliage a little bit and wrap a small bundle together with rubber bands and hang them to dry, and dry them usually within a week.
And there really are so many different recipes. Man, when you go on the internet, there's lovely recipes for that.
Yes, there are.
And then what's this last one?
And this blooms a little bit later in the season. Royal Velvet is an English lavender that was developed and discovered and then propagated in Oregon.
Oh.
And what's nice about it is it has a longer stem than some of the other angustifolias, and it has a nice deep dark flower, bud, as well as corolla or flower that opens up, and so it's beautiful, fresh and dried, and for culinary purposes.
That is so nice. And you've gone and created this lovely handout that's going to be on the Garden Time website. So many different varieties, how big they grow, what the color is, what the uses are.
Yes, I'm hoping that will help people decide what they have room to grow in their garden, and decide what variety will work well in their landscape.
So if you have any other questions, please go to gardentime.tv. We'll click over their website and find the directions and really come out and experience a lavender farm. Thanks so much.
Thank you.